Okay, hello everyone. Madison Podcast, Ben Lavender, New York's favorite British mortgage broker that serves like 30 states. Anyway, we have Meredith Giudice.
That's right.
Yes! Yes, I got it right. I mean, I did practice several times. So, Meredith, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
All the way from New Jersey. Where in New Jersey?
Morris County.
Morris County. Okay, actually, we've done business there. All right, so please introduce yourself again as if I didn't introduce you, and just tell the people who you are, what you do, and we'll take it from there.
All right. I am Meredith Giudice, and I'm a realtor in New Jersey. I pretty much work all over North Jersey. I'm with Compass Real Estate, and I've been doing real estate for close to 14 years, which, you know, I was only about 10 years old when I started doing it. So you don't have to do the math. And, you know, it's just something that I really like helping my clients, and I love doing what I do most days and most hours of the week.
Okay, so let's get to that. That's a fun one to start off with. What do you love most about the business?
I love helping my clients. I love seeing houses, even like destroyed, neglected houses. It makes me a little sad inside, but like I see the potential in it.
Yeah, it's an opportunity.
So it's an opportunity, right? So I love that. I always try to find like something unique about a home, and I love when I find like super cool things. Like I love pocket doors. Everybody who follows me on my Instagram knows that I love pocket doors. I'm a dork.
Well, what is a pocket door?
So a pocket door is basically like a door that fits inside the wall, and it doesn't take up space like opening and closing it. So you can just slide it open and close it, and it's like a pocket.
Like from a kitchen to a dining room, for instance?
Kitchen to a dining room.
Oh, I didn't know that was the name of that.
Yeah,
those are awesome.
It's great.
Yeah, my sister has one.
Does she?
Yeah.
I love playing with them.
Like, yeah, because we're like sitting at the dining table, and we just like pass through food through like to the kitchen, just makes life easier. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
are those common in your market?
They're not terribly common, but when I find a house, especially like a new construction house, because they're sort of like old construction.
Yeah.
But they're coming back because they're just a space saver. So I just
it's efficient.
It is.
And I don't think like aesthetically it looks bad.
No, you hide it right inside the wall. So I think I like them because when I was a little girl, my grandparents had one in their house, and I used to like, it used to get stuck, and I used to like try to take it out and everything. So I think that's why I like them. Is that also
where they hid the candies?
Probably.
Yeah. It's what actually this is gonna sound really bad, but like you just reminded me, my grandparents had this like bar in their living room, and they for some reason hid the chocolate behind the bar. So
maybe so you wouldn't get it, but you found it anyway?
Yeah, but it just made it worse, because then I was a 5-year-old just hanging out behind a bar. I could have been drinking my grandfather's whiskey.
Yeah.
You know, and which he said was his magic to staying alive. He had a couple glasses every night, and he lived till he was like 96 or something.
God bless him.
So yeah, hopefully, knock on wood, all my grandparents made it past 90 so far.
My great-grandmother lived to almost 100, and she said it was the olive oil and squeezing the tomatoes.
I was going to say, because the Italian lifestyle and genetics, was she in Italy?
So she came here from Italy. She lived here, but she lived, on her own and made everything.
Oh, wow.
She was a phenomenal cook. She never had a recipe about anything. I'd bake with her, and I'd be like, Ma, we used to call her Ma, like, I need to write down. She said, no, you do it by feel. Like, she spoke very broken English. So she'd be like, you got to feel it.
I love that, do it by feel.
Yeah.
I think that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Because it's like you don't have the same love when you just like follow a system. I understand that following instructions like makes sense, it makes it easier, but it's like it doesn't come from your heart.
Yeah.
Because then you're just like, oh, I was off by like a millimeter or whatever.
But baking is supposed to be an exact science, but it's not. Like the way she would bake, it was not. It was all about, she'd make like a pile of flour and never measured it, and she would just like make a well.
Okay, I think that's crazy. I think that's crazy, because the thing is, if you're off on baking, then it's the difference between it.
She knew she wasn't off just by feeling it, just by feeling the dough.
Okay, that's impressive.
Yeah,
that's
she was
impressive.
Amazing.
And you can bake now just as well.
I think I'm a pretty good baker. I'm probably a better baker than I am a cook, but I love to do both.
What can you bake?
Oh my gosh.
That's exceptional.
Exceptional. I make a crumb cake that everybody loves. I also make like a sour cream cake. I make homemade cinnamon buns, but I only do it for holidays because it's kind of a pain in the
Yeah, sounds like it.
But my cinnamon buns is what everybody really, really loves.
That does sound good. That does sound like a pain to... How long does it take to prep and make cinnamon buns?
Oh, God, like it's like a whole day.
Because physically, they look complicated.
Yeah, so that part is actually super easy. It's making the dough and letting it rise. So I usually do that like the night before. And then late that night, I'll roll
You got to
everything
do it the
out.
night before. This is a process.
It's like a whole day process. Yeah, so I make the dough in the morning, let it rise. You have to like let it rise twice. Then you have to like pound it and roll it out, which is very therapeutic. If anybody ever wants to like get out their frustrations, work with any kind of dough, it's fantastic.
It's amazing advice, especially for people in the business,
Yeah.
because we experience quite a lot of frustration
And stress,
in our business.
It's wonderful.
Okay, let's go back to business.
Okay.
Because you are a veteran of the business, 14 years, as you said.
Makes me sound like a grown-up.
And you started when you were 20. Sorry, 10 when you said.
Yeah.
My bad. I messed that up. We are grown-ups. I mean, look, we're professionals, and as we were saying before we started this, like, as realtors, like, you're the mommy or the daddy in the transaction. So you're saying that your style, right, is more nurturing, right? Yeah. It's more like as a guide as opposed to a salesperson, which I always find funny. I talk about this all the time, actually, that, like, salespeople in our business who, like, identify as salespeople. It's funny to say identify as salespeople, but that's really what I mean. Like, that hardcore sales type, like, to think that we have the power to like convince someone to buy a house. Like, they made the decision years ago subconsciously. We just like were there and we're helping facilitate it. Like,
Exactly.
it's just very silly. Okay, so you've been doing this 14 years. What advice would you give to yourself 14 years ago when you first started, or something that you didn't know that you wish you did?
So I think I knew this, but I was very naive. Buck up, because you really, as sensitive Sally as I am, you really can't be sensitive. It's business. It's not personal for most of the time, and for most people, even though it's personal for the clients, like, I'm the business person and the professional. So buck up. Don't be so sensitive. And also probably
Easier said than done.
Yeah, it's totally easier said than done. And also I would say that it's not a get rich quick business at all. And I think I knew that going into it, and I have no problem with challenging and persevering. But I think when I was younger, I thought it would be a little bit easier to make money. And it took a while. It took a while to like really grow my business. And I think that people going into the business now really need to heed that advice, because it's definitely not what you see on Instagram or social media.
Well, yeah, I was literally just going to say, like, a lot of people see the TV shows, Netflix, whatever, and it just looks so glamorous. And, I mean, to be fair, right, like, I was in Miami for my birthday, and it was Miami Music Week. This was at the end of March. And I was talking to a couple mortgage broker friends, like, who were around, like, you know, let's meet up, whatever, like, hang out. Nothing crazy. And, like, one of them gets back to me, and it's, like, on a Monday. It's like, are you still here? Let's hang out. And I'm like, no, I'm going home. It's like, oh, that's a shame, because they were on, like, some random yacht, like, in the middle of the day. But it's like, it's a Monday. It's a Monday at 12. Like, why aren't you working? And they're like, I am working. I'm networking, right? I'm networking, and I'm working on the boat, the yacht, whatever. And I was like, okay, that's fair, but it's like their lifestyle is like that. I'm not saying everyone's is like that, but it's rare to see. But I'd say over here it's not like that whatsoever.
No.
I know, like, there's a lot of people see, like, the networking events and it looks all glamorous, but that's not the business. To me, that's really, what do you even say? That's the icing on it, or it's just...
Yeah, and I feel like our business, you know, when you go to an office job, it's like very much, this is what I do. I come in at 9 a.m., I leave at 5 p.m. Our jobs, especially real estate agents, we have to wear a lot of different hats. So, you know, you're wearing the educator hat, you're wearing the mommy hat, or the daddy hat, or the good cop, the bad cop. Sometimes you've got to go and be at a home inspection when you should be at a closing, and you have to cut yourself in two. There's just a lot of hats that you have to wear. So I forget where I was going with this, but I think that most importantly, people know that you have their back.
Yeah. But, so how do you handle it? Because I say that too, right? And again, I made a video on this last week. We're on the same team. Do you experience a lot of clients who are kind of like combative for no reason? Or if you do get some of them, like they have particular traits or like things that you notice, like there's a pattern from these types of people?
For the most part, no. I have to say, for the most part, my clients, because they come from referral, usually trust me because they came from somebody else who used me, or friends or family, and they sort of know who I am. But it's the people that don't really know me who are very skeptical and think that like it's a sales thing, or kind of question everything they do, and they're like, no, I want to do it my way, and just because they saw
With all
something.
your experience, yeah.
Exactly. So they want to do it their way, and I always am honest. I say, okay, we'll do it your way for a short amount of time. When and if it doesn't go how you want it to go, will you trust me to do it my way? And I know that people sort of need to learn things on their own. Unfortunately, when I was younger, I took offense to that. But now that I'm a little bit more seasoned in the business, I know that just some people, that's their learning style.
You have the patience, which I think is amazing. Because,
not always.
Yeah, because my response would be sarcastic. I'd be like, okay, so you don't want to leverage like my 10 years of experience and knowledge in this business. You want to do it yourself with not knowing anything. I understand completely. Let's do that. Right. So good for you.
Oh, I'll get off the phone and say that to like my friend and be like, also have a few expletives in there, but then it calms me down after I vent a little bit. I know.
Yeah, and sometimes they need to think about it. It also depends, because like a lot of clients have different people in their ears as well, right? So
especially the dad.
Oh,
it's always the dad.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. It's not always the dad, but a lot of times it is.
From my perspective, it's always the dad. I don't know what you know much about New York real estate. I remember this client. It was a young lady in her mid-20s. She was buying a house, and her dad was kind of like coaching her. Dad hasn't bought a house for like 50 years. And she says to me, Ben, what are the closing costs? And I was like, it depends. Closing costs are very high here. They can range anywhere from like, I don't know, 13,000 to way over, right? I've seen files with closing costs as 50,000, especially when you got mansion tax and all this stuff, whatever. And she's like, oh, I thought they were 8,000. I was like, where'd you get that from? And she was just like, oh, my dad told me. I was like, okay, that, your mortgage tax alone is going to be 6, right? So let's take all the other stuff into consideration. So.
And now in New Jersey, you've got a transfer tax too. So you've got to pay taxes on top of the house that you just sold that you already paid taxes on. It's a whole nother.
It's no fun.
Spiel.
Yeah, I mean, it's nonstop. I feel like they're adding every year.
Yeah.
Every single year there's something. They made adjustments to the mansion tax in New York a year or two ago as well, where they like tiered it the higher they go. It's crazy. It's and I think it only used to be in New York City. Then they expanded it to the entire state.
Say New Jersey has a mansion tax as well.
Oh, crazy. Yeah. Crazy. What is it? 1% of the and does it
over $1 million?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's crazy. That's why like a lot of the prices we see like a 99999, and just leave it at that. But what can you do?
More than likely it'll go over that anyway.
Right.
In this market. But.
Yeah, this market is okay. So let's talk about that. How is this market treating you? More specifically, what have you noticed? What changes have you noticed in the market from, say, the beginning of the year up to now? And it is the end of June 2023.
Oh, my goodness. So it's dramatic. I feel like it's dramatically different every 6 months, or if not every 3 months. But since January, it's picked up so much more, mostly because there's a little bit of inventory. I mean picked up because it was just so dead inventory-wise. There was just no inventory for buyers. I had so many buyers, and I was like, there's no houses to show you. I mean, at any given time in my town alone, there could have been like 8 houses on the market active, which is...
That's insanely low.
It's insanely low.
I mean, I don't know how big a town is, but from what you're telling me, it's not that small.
No, it's dramatically low, because when I first got my license, 14 years ago, there was like 180 houses on the market at any given time. And that is just depleted, which is another reason why this is so not a 2008 market. It has a lot to do with inventory. But yeah, the market is picked up for sure. And now it's like kind of fast and furious. I feel like it is a repeat of like May of 2020, 2021.
That crazy.
It's gotten really, really crazy with like over asking bids and people like waiving things again. And that's just within like the last 3 weeks.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's good or bad. I mean, it's good in terms of busyness, but in terms of like there just being no inventory and the house is going up, it's crazy.
It's like, and it's not so like rainbows and sunshine for sellers, because you have buyers who are like just exhausted, emotionally drained, that they're going to do everything to get you under contract, and then they're going to try to screw you once you get under contract. And there's really not a whole lot of predicting factors. Well, they, offer you a cash purchase, and then all of a sudden you're out of attorney review, and they're like, well, we decided to finance it. We do have the cash, and we we want to finance it and leverage our cash to do other things.
But there's verbiage in the contract that
There is.
doesn't allow
But then
them
they
to do
try
that.
to do stuff during home inspection as well and make up things that are just not really there.
Yeah.
So it's not rainbows and sunshine for everybody, and it's not so easy to navigate all the time. You just have to know that, like, you've got a realtor on your side that's going to get through whatever comes at you, because you can't predict everything that's necessarily going to come at you.
Yeah, experience counts.
It does.
What reason do you find that most sellers are selling these days?
So people moving out of our state, out of New Jersey, for sure,
Where are they
is one
mostly
of them.
going to?
Florida,
Figured.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have had a couple people going Midwest, like Utah and Montana,
Interesting.
which is kind of cool. I'm like, oh, I want to come visit you.
Yeah, I have no idea what's there.
And just nice scenery.
Okay, that's nice.
So there's that. And then I've had a couple people who, like, this was just another property for them. And now that they have like a house down the shore or something like that, they just don't see any need to have like their big house up north.
Oh, so they're like selling and relocating to their vacation home, basically.
Yeah.
Cool. That's what I figured, because obviously you know this, that a lot of people have crazy low rates and don't have much of an incentive to move, because not only the price is higher, but the rates are higher. So it's like, why am I going to sell and move to
Or it's a lifestyle change. Either they had more kids, their kids are all now graduated, and they just don't want to pay the taxes
Like empty
anymore,
nesters.
or a divorce.
Yeah, I had a client that's closing recently, actually. Actually, that's not true. She closed 2 hours ago in the office behind me. And, you know, we got her tax search, and we were going over it, and, like, the taxes came to, I don't know, like 15 grand, and 10 of which were for school taxes. And she was like, you know, all my kids are grown. I'm going to go to the town and tell them to get rid of this. And I'm just like, you can't do that. You can't just go and be like, my kids aren't using the school, get rid of the 10K in taxes.
They don't care.
Yeah. So I tried to, it was really... It was
That's really
it
funny.
was funny. But I was like, you can apply for the STAR program and get a discount on it, but you're not going to get rid of the whole thing.
No.
And she's like, no, I'll tell them. I was like, okay.
You
like
tell them.
Yeah, tell them. And, you know, if that works, please let me know, and I'll tell everyone that I know.
Yeah, seriously.
It's just really.
That's like saying to somebody who's going to pay like private school tuition that they don't want to pay like part of their taxes.
Right.
Like, sure, okay.
Right. It's just... People are funny. She was a very, very sweet lady, actually.
Aww.
So it was...
Well, then I hope it works out for her.
I hope it does. I mean, look, she's convincing. She's very charming. Very charming.
Right.
And she's got this, like, cool Jamaican accent, so it could work. It could work. You never know. Okay, so that's why most people are moving. It's not really surprising to me. That's what most people tell me, honestly. But it just goes to prove to you that no matter the market, people have reasons that they need to buy, reasons that they need to sell. The question is... and this is a good segue, is, you know, what are you doing to stay in front of those people? So let me ask you, what are you doing, Meredith, to stay in front of those people, be top of mind when someone needs to buy, sell, relocate, whatever?
Stuff like this.
Yeah.
For
That's a great answer.
the most part, it's really just social media I'm using. I've never been very good at prospecting ever. I'm not really like a salesperson. So just staying top of mind with my sphere on social media, and I try to
So how do you do that?
It's really just a matter of sharing, like, whether it be personal content or, you know, kind of real estate educational content. I try to like throw in any kind of thing that will relate to me. It could be cooking, like, or eating out. Like, I love to go out to dinner, love to drink good wine. I'm kind of like a wine snob. I like really
Italian?
enjoy. Yeah. So
I don't call it a snob. Culturally, your people have excellent taste when it comes to food and wine. So I don't blame you.
I love to try all different types of food.
Yeah.
So that I'll share pretty much anything that I feel like anybody can relate to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because it's a way of connecting, right? It's just like,
exactly.
you know, if you're just saying like, okay, accepted offer post, like, okay, great, like, it's good to show that you're in the business, but show also that you're a person.
Yeah.
You know, it's because I think a big part of it is that it gives people like the comfort or the ability to reach out to you, right? Because if you're just like a work person, they're like, this person's just a robot. Whereas like, you know, I have my kids, I have my family life, I cook, I do stuff. They're like, okay, like I can actually talk to her and, you know, not worry about being sold.
And like, we all end up working with people that we like. So there's going to be people that want somebody who's like all in on like just their real estate and just like showing how wonderful of a realtor or lender they are. And that's all that they are. Some some people will gravitate towards that. They're just not my people, and that's okay.
That used to be me. And what happened was I realized, Meredith, that I was attracting a type of clientele that was just they demanded perfection, right? I'm not even talking about from myself, from like putting the responsibility of perfection of the entire transaction on me.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not a good way to live.
Right.
And I'll tell you a funny story. I had someone leave me some fake negative Google reviews, and I knew they were fake because I was able to track it, because the person used multiple accounts to give themselves fake 5-star reviews at their own job, right? And like it was I sent them like a cease and desist letter from my attorney. It was a whole like thing, and ironically though, when that happened, it was good. It was like almost a little bit of relief that my reviews weren't all like 5-star, 155-star Google reviews. It was a 4.99. Because like when people see that you're not perfect, they don't demand perfectionism, and you can have like a healthier transaction.
I saw your post on perfectionism.
Yeah, it's just, thank you. I'm glad people watched. It's great.
People watched.
It's great. It's not just you, Mom. It's not just you. So it's like working with the right clientele, I think, is important for longevity in the business. Someone that suits your personality, and not like trying to be someone else.
Yeah, and I'm definitely comfortable with who I am at this point, to know that I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay.
That's a good point, actually. A lot of people don't even know who they are. Right, so not only do you have to be comfortable with who you are, you have to know who you are to begin with. And we as people, we change, we evolve, things happen.
For sure. Yeah, so I'm okay with now not being everybody's cup of tea, but it's taken me a long time to get there.
What helped you get there? I won't ask for like, unless you want to share like exactly what happened, but people listening to this will be like, I want to get there, how do I do it?
It was mostly having a wonderful support system. Like, I have the most wonderful friends and family. Like, truly, I can go to them to vent to them. I will tell them, like, I feel like I failed in this aspect of this transaction. I like go to bed at night, I think I did this bad as a mom and everything. And like, they're my cheerleaders. And they're like, snap out of it. You know exactly who you are. You just need to be reminded. And so I attribute it to having a great support system, because sometimes we just need a little smack in the face and to be reminded of it's okay.
And you're fortunate to have that. Not everyone has that in their life. So my advice, if you don't have it, you need to find it.
Yeah.
You need to find a good support system.
And like
it's key.
a really hard workout.
Oh, that's a good one. Do you have a favorite type?
I love to spin.
Cycling?
I love to spin.
Yeah.
And one particular person, she's like my favorite instructor. She used to have her own studio and then closed during COVID, but I still work out with her. And she is my little blonde psycho who I love. And I like leave there feeling like I'm drenched and like depleted. And it's like the best like adrenaline high ever. I love it.
It's the best feeling.
It really is.
Yeah, we were talking about that before. It's like, again, getting yourself not only into the right frame of mind, but the release. And another thing that's also really, really important, especially for people in our business who are kind of like obsessed with the business, which I don't think is healthy long term, but like I said in the beginning, but it's a good distraction. Right, because when you're spinning at 1,000,000 miles an hour, you can't think about some deal, right? You're focused on that. I'm
just focused on it, and like with the music, I've always been really into music. My father is a musician and used to DJ, and so
your father's a DJ.
So, well, I mean, he used to do it for like parties and stuff for fun. But he's always into music. Like, I had a mixtape when I was like maybe 5 years old. It was like Buddy Holly and Billy Joel, and
cool.
I grew up and the Everly Brothers. I listened to everything, and I still do. So I think that's why I like exercising to music, because it just helps me like zone out.
Yeah, and it's more fun, let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you, because some people tell me they will put on like a podcast when they're at the gym. I'm like, that's good for you, but that sounds terrible.
Yeah,
I don't want to. Yeah, that's not a good
like
time.
an audiobook. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I've tried it, honestly. I've tried it a few times, was able to do it, but it's like you go to the gym to disconnect, really, not to.
Sounds like a great use of time.
Highly efficient.
It doesn't work for me.
Someone told me like they had a friend, wasn't a friend of mine, that would literally listen to podcasts 24/7 or like audiobooks, meaning like, the reason why I bring it up is because you were talking about like the maximizing of the time, right? So if they were walking to class at college, they would put it on for 5 minutes and then just keep going, and then it became like a game or something. Like, that's unhealthy.
Yeah.
That is not like we have to grow and do better.
We gotta turn off a little bit too.
Yeah, so which again, people find it difficult to do in this. I struggled with that as well for a long time, but again, the key is longevity, and this business, as I say all the time, is a marathon that we're sprinting at every day, but we have to force ourselves to slow down. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, Meredith, a question that I literally ask everyone.
Okay.
And it is tremendously judgmental, and how you answer is well, tell me everything I need to know about you. Favorite movie?
Oh, goodness gracious. It's probably going to be the wrong answer, but Dirty Dancing.
It's a great movie.
Great movie.
Yeah, that's a great one, which I only saw for the first time a few years ago. But that's just...
It's a great movie.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Johnny Castle. I mean, the lift at the end.
It's
great movie.
It's an amazing movie. Okay, that's fine.
How about you?
That's fine. I always say Face Off.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad, but it's like just funny. It's entertaining. I've watched Avatar 2 every night for like the past 2 weeks. Just like to just go to bed. Tyler's laughing. It's like, what's wrong? There's always something new. I'm just glad I could always make him laugh.
Entertain him?
Yeah, somehow. Because it's not like I watched the whole thing, man. It's a 3-hour movie. You think I get home at 10 or whenever I get home and like, let's watch Avatar 2 until 1 in the morning. No. It's just like, because visually it's just... There's nothing to it. It's about a bunch of like aliens, so you can't really relate, which is nice because there's no like human, even though there are humans, whatever. But it's just easy. It's mindless. It's visually, it's beautiful. It's done so well, and it's just pleasant to look at.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to watch.
Kind of turn off a little bit.
Yeah, I used to watch these. What is everyone like? All the thrillers that everyone used to watch, like. Well, literally anything with like a mystery and someone getting killed, and that's...
You can't turn that off. You like want to stay up and watch it.
Right. So did you ever watch Homeland?
I did not.
So do you know what it's about?
Yes.
Okay, so Homeland, when I was watching it, I was in my early 20s. It was before the business, I think, or I hope. And like the anxiety levels that it gives you and the interest in the dopamine was so high. I think I watched it till like 9 in the morning one time.
Oh my gosh.
Or something crazy. I was just like, I couldn't stop. To be fair, it's a great show. It's like a really, really good show. But like now I couldn't do that. It's just like, I don't want to do that. We got to relax.
Yeah. We
have to relax a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Favorite TV show?
TV show? I recently... This is a funny... It's stupid. You wouldn't expect it. I just finished it, actually, because there's only one season. So I'm Jewish. I'm 100% Jewish, so I was watching Jewish matchmaking.
Oh, okay.
So it was just very interesting to watch. I binged the whole thing in like 2 days. It was awesome.
Oh my gosh, how funny.
To be fair, there were 22 minutes each. It's not that bad.
That's not that bad.
Yeah, and it's just very interesting to me. And I mean, I'm sure they have like scripts and stuff, as all these reality TVs shows do. But it's funny, you know. It's funny to see like different people like trying to find their partner, and like I'm not married, so I'm looking for my eventual wife, and it's like, I shouldn't say it's like business, but you want to approach it not just emotionally, but there's got to be some logic in it too. So it's very interesting to see, because what they do in the beginning, they have this like checklist of things, and like a lot of them are like ridiculous, and they end up like taking away a bunch of them and meeting someone that's potentially great or not. Anyway, just like it's very entertaining. So.
Funny, I follow Ben Shapiro, and he talks about marriage very similarly like that. He's like,
Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, he's like,
I like him. Yeah,
I like him. He's like this short little Jewish guy with this like somewhat of an annoying voice, but I love him.
He does have an annoying voice, but it doesn't mean he's not right in many cases.
But he like looks at it. He's like, it's a business contract, but you need to make sure that like you have the same values and like look at it. So
okay, so maybe I should listen to Ben Shapiro. I just see like some random clips and stuff, and I mean, we don't want to get political because he's very he's very political, but he's really funny.
He is very funny.
Yeah, what happened was I saw this clip of him where there was this person in the audience was like making fun of his height or something. Like, are you really like 5'9"? And Ben Shapiro just says to the guy, "How tall are you?" and he's like 5'9", and he brings the guy up on stage, and they're the same height. You know, he just schools him. And it's just like, he's just funny. He's just, you know, it's characters, right? It's like all these characters online. Like, I mean, it's a terrible one. And I never followed him, but like seeing his clips always made me laugh hysterically. It was Alex Jones, because he just said, Alex Jones is the guy. I'm gonna have to go follow him now. He's crazy. He's an absolutely insane human being. I mean, he is just playing a character. He was sued for saying that the whole Sandy Hook massacre was fabricated.
Okay.
He was sued by the parents, and I think he's got to pay them like $200 million or something. Jeez. Yeah, which is crazy. So anyway, but he is, other than saying that, which I don't agree with and I think is disgusting, that he said that to begin with, doesn't mean that some of his clips aren't hilarious, right? He's still like really funny. So I don't know if you have the same sense of humor as me. Mine's quite immature and childish, but you might like it. I like Adam Sandler and Will Ferrell and some I actually don't like them at all.
You don't?
Yeah, I liked Adam Sandler in, did you see Uncut Gems?
I did not.
Oh, so it's,
I'll have
it's
to
more
see that.
It's a serious movie, though.
Yeah, I might have to go watch it.
He plays this, I think he's like a jeweler who's also like a gambler or something. Okay. Absolutely incredible movie.
Yeah, I like him like when I was younger, like Billy Madison, stupid, idiotic
funny.
Movies. But like, again, just turn off and just watch something stupid.
You need to.
Yeah.
You need to. Are you a big like outdoor movie person? Meaning like, do you go to theaters or are you more just like at home?
So I used to love going to theaters, and then since COVID, I don't think I've been in a movie theater. My kids have. I have not. I don't watch a whole lot of TV or movies anymore. I like read. I sound like a dork. Or like I watch stuff with my kids like at night now. We've been watching like Friends reruns. We watched all of them because it was my favorite show. So I watched it with both of my daughters, and now we're watching. Oh gosh, I forgot the name of the show. It's the one about the airplane and they like go somewhere. I don't know. I can't remember.
The one where it like gets lost?
Yes.
But you're not talking about Lost itself.
No, not Lost itself.
Manifest?
Manifest, yes.
Manifest. Was that one season there?
So no, it's on Netflix now. They just had like the last season get released. I think it's like 4 seasons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I've been watching that with them.
A lot of people say that's a good one.
But like I like to watch old movies with them. Like I had them watch Legally Blonde with me and Dirty Dancing and like all like the old Clueless, like
Princess Bride,
Mean Girls. Oh, Princess Bride, yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
Mean Girls is a great movie.
Cutting Edge. The Cutting Edge.
I haven't seen Cutting Edge. Who's in that?
So, Maura something or other. She was a figure skater, and she's like a spoiled brat, and all of her partners quit on her. So this guy who was like a phenomenal hockey player gets injured and can no longer play professional hockey anymore. So they bring him in, and he like is like this rough guy, and she's like this princess, and you know they end up falling in love with each other. But the best scene in the movie is like her chasing him around, and she, you know, he can't keep up with her figure skating, and she's going toe pick. That's how you like stop. And then at the end, he like is going faster than her, and he goes toe pick.
Cute. Okay, I have to see it. What's it called again?
The Cutting Edge.
The Cutting Edge.
It's a great movie.
80s, 90s?
Probably like early 90s. I remember going to the movie theater. I probably was like 8 or 9 years old.
We're getting closer to the age.
Wow. I just turned 40. So.
Okay. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
What did you do to celebrate?
So I went to Napa in August with my husband and then our best friends, and it was the most phenomenal trip. Awesome. I cannot wait to go back. I mean, the food, the wine, it was just like we stayed at this great hotel, and then we had 2 other couples come in surprise my husband. So that was a great trip.
That's awesome.
And then my husband ended up throwing like a surprise party for me at our house, like with our friends, and it was like super casual but like wonderful.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Well. All right, Meredith. So, any final farewells, advice, things that you want to tell people? Also, tell people where to contact you if they want to.
So you can contact me. You can find me on Instagram at Mer, so MER 918, or on Facebook, Meredith Giudice, and it's GIUDICE. So I know, don't try to say it and spell it at the same time. It's not phonetical.
Thank you for saying your last name again.
And so my advice is that you should call Ben for mortgage. Oh, yeah. And you should call me for real estate, and just trust whoever your real estate advisor is.
Listen to what we tell you.
Please.
Get it. Take care, guys. Good job.
Thank you.
That was great.